Uh-oh, I think I need like a napkin.
Oh no, Austin, you ruined the match.
Sort of where we left off. So we went through last episode all of my boxed, cool engraved iPods, whether it be simple text personalizations or company engraved special edition iPods. This episode, we're focusing on out-of-box engraved iPods, specifically shuffles, minis, nanos, and touches today. I've already got the minis lined up here. First of all, we've got two Pepsi iPod minis. Now this one is just the shell, as you can see. I believe I bought it like that, not too sure. However, this Pepsi iPod mini is still fully assembled. This one seems to have had a long, prosperous life. Someone definitely used this iPod. They're both first generation 4GB silvers. One of the very few cases where we actually have information about how these were distributed. It was a giveaway through Pepsi. There's still some surviving promotional material for the giveaway.
I'm a hustler, baby! I just want you to know.
Mr. Howard?
David?
I just wanna love you.
Just wanna love
But
you.
be who I am.
Know you love me.
And with all this cash.
Okay, next up we've got this iPod mini first gen, light blue. This one is pretty much mint. Dang near no signs of use on this. It's engraved with the message, April 30th, 2004.
So HPIR was a global pharmaceutical and medical device company. In 2004, they spun off from Abbott Laboratories. On April 30th, 2004, Abbott transferred the assets and liabilities comprising HPIR to the new company. They must have had some kind of event commemorating it.
Next up, we've got a Verizon iPod mini second generation 4GB with the Verizon logo. Really in pretty nice shape. We'll see what we can find. Again, sort of strange considering Verizon would have no business in the MP3 player market. Cool iPod though. Right, next up we've got a silver iPod mini second gen 4GB, which has been through a lot. It's got the message gray. So exciting, which is true. They could have picked blue, green, pink, and they chose gray. Next up with the iPod mini, we've got a green second gen 4GB here, engraved with the Vox Vodka logo typeface. On the front, curiously, you don't see many iPods with engravings on the front.
All the results are their green apple flavor.
All right, yeah, green apple iPod. Next up, we've got the iPod shuffles. My new favorite iPod shuffle, the Advil iPod shuffle. I really don't know the story behind this one. Typically with these, if you were to have like a personalized engraving, it would have shown up on the side. And this one is on the back and it really doesn't even look like an Apple engraving. You can see it's like almost sort of raised as if it was printed. I'd imagine it's like from an Advil promotion, but strange they did not go through Apple to get it engraved, and this one has a new battery installed. Next up, we've got a Curb Your Enthusiasm iPod Shuffle first gen. This one is a 512 megabyte one with the cap and lanyard. I would really like to know the story behind this one. This might be one of the most interesting engraved iPods that we've got. This one does work, and this is actually like fully printed on the iPod. It's seamless. It's like underneath the glossy like layer. Really on there, it must be official. It's pretty difficult to pull like the Apple order number from these iPod shuffles because there's no screen, there's no way to go to settings, general, about, and it does not pull up through iTunes. So it's hard to say exactly what the deal was with this. If anyone knows the history behind this iPod, please let us know in the comments. We want to learn the story. All right, next up we've got a handful of iPod Shuffle 2s. This one has a message here. This belongs to the best mom ever. First of all, wrong. It belongs to me now. And then this one, Shuffle Up and Deal. That's a good one. And finally, for the Shuffle 2s, free thinkers are dangerous. And then we've got a handful of Shuffle 4s, Lucky Lips by Chapstick. Who has lucky lips? Maybe it's implying that, it might be implying that someone was lucky in the sense of they won the giveaway.
Maybe. And I have a response to them.
Blistex gang.
Sorry, Chapstick. Oh yeah. You like that?
Finally for the shuffles, Chipotle Mexican Grill. So it is possible that some of these iPods were used at these places of business and they might have at one point in time been loaded with training materials, some sort of professional resource, but I know this one's been wiped, so hard to say. It just says Chipotle Mexican Grill. So next up are the iPod Touches. We've got a first generation 16 gig Fox Business iPod Touch. Really, really weird. Next up, we've got an iPod Touch, third generation, 2009, 8 gigabyte from the small capacity logo there. And it's engraved with American Association of Neurological Surgeons. When I first saw this one, I was really hoping that there were some banger tutorials on here for surgery, but I regret to inform you, we will be conducting surgeries untrained still. All right, next up, this is one of my favorites, an iPod Touch second generation, 32 gig, engraved with a message, for all your hard work on Adobe Acrobat 9, congratulations. I would assume that this was gifted to some of the software engineers or the team members developing Adobe Acrobat 9, and presumably congratulations would imply this was given as a gift during the launch of Adobe Acrobat 9. The last thing of note, this is a black engraving, which would imply that this was not done through Apple. It was like done through a third party. It's funny they congratulated. It doesn't work like it's supposed to, and it has the most security vulnerabilities.
Let's see, and it says thanks for your work on it.
Your hard work, for all your hard work.
This iPod was donated to Satan.
Next up, we've got a cracked and heavily used iPod Touch second gen 16 gig Gucci iPod. This one is pretty worn down. It's sort of difficult to get this engraving. So it says Gucci, November 19th, 2008, New York. So this one is so worn down that I actually processed it, as in charged it, realized it was broken, sort of put it in the 4 parts, needs a repair pile, without even seeing the Gucci. Only years later, when I was going through all those iPods, did I realize.
So it looks like from November 19th, 2008 to January 2009, Gucci donated a chunk of the profits from their New York store, their Fifth Avenue store, to UNICEF. Looks like they had a gala. So this was probably part of a press kit that people took home from this day. And this is Getty Images, so I'm gonna get off really fast.
So it's charging and it's about to die, but really quickly, we've got a Gucci wallpaper.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's-
there it is,
yeah.
the UNICEF. So the 2009.
Yeah, all of this text down here is not legible at all because the image resolution is so tiny, but this thing is actually still loaded. So we've got a load of songs, 13 videos, 6,175 photos. That's a lot. And it does have a unique model number. Really quickly, we're gonna take a look at this Gucci app. Oh, it's not a Gucci app. It's a shortcut to the Gucci website. The LimeWire playlist. Okay, here we go, Cole.
Is it Weezer?
It's the Weezer Christmas. We
Let's
wish
go!
you a Merry Christmas.
Yes!
I want to see if any of these photos have to do with Gucci. So we've got 2 saved photos. It seems like both of these are screenshots. Cool, now I've got my stack of iPod Touch 5, 6, 7, and we are going to start off with my personal iPod Touch 7 here, 32 gig, nothing special from the front, but on the back, it's got this incredible custom engraving pattern. It says Elite Obsolete. This is the guy who did this engraving for me. So big shout out, I can't thank you enough. I use it every day. This one's also one of my favorites, an iPod Touch 5 that's completely destroyed and also apparently dead, disassembled, warped to hell and back. Looks like it was thrown out of a moving car. I've got big plans I say. I would say it didn't go as planned. Cool, this one's just kind of weird, an iPod Touch 5. I like sweatpants and pineapples. Unfortunately, it's iCloud locked, so not much interesting here. If anyone's interested, I am willing to sell this one because I don't really like sweatpants or pineapples all that much.
He's wearing sweatpants right now. Do not listen to him.
I'm not a sweatpant enthusiast. All right, so next up we've got this iPod Touch 5, property of Max. Do not touch or your fingers will melt off. Noted, Max. Careful. I'm not doing the fascist iPod.
No, don't say fascist. Just say like Attack on Titan.
All right, and then we've got this iPod Touch 5 here, Karma Police. Presumably a reference from the Radiohead song. We've got an iPod Touch 6th gen that's been through quite a lot. It's got this terrible
Hi, John. It's what I do.
artist interpretation of Garfield, I believe, and Andreas's shit. This is definitely not an Apple job. I don't know what to say.
You used to be able to option a Garfield on the Build Your iPod page.
Specific Garfield SKU, but unfortunately Andreas's shit is no longer on here, I'm afraid. Okay, next up we've got these iPod Nano first gens. We've got a little stack. We're gonna work through them one by one. First of all is this Sheets iPod. This one has some tiny text on it. Sheets, fresh food made to order. It's pretty much brand new. I'm not personally familiar with the Sheets brand. I think Cole said it was...
It's a gas station.
Gas station. We definitely don't have Sheets in Kansas. This is a gold-plated iPod Nano first gen, and you can see it is actually gold-plated because underneath, yeah, there you go, the iPod text is raised, and you can make that out really well, how it's like actually raised. Not engraved, but certainly a pretty cool iPod. This one, I'll take offers for this one if anyone wants it. Sorry about that. I don't know what just came over me. We've got a gray, white iPod Nano with black.
Wrong.
We've got some sort of international iPod Nano first gen. It's missing the United States regulatory logos, but I have no clue what this logo is here. So if anyone knows or can identify this, please let me know in the comments. Very curious. We've got a third generation iPod Nano Silver 4 gig, and this one is engraved with the autograph of Elvis Presley, the message, Regulatory U.S. Patent and Trademark Office for promotional use only, Cherry Lane Music Publishing Incorporated, Elvis Presley Enterprises Incorporated. Now, Cherry Lane is the record label owned by the Presley family, and we've got their little cherry logo engraved on the center button. What kind of Elvis tracks do we got on here? There's got to be a bunch of Elvis stuff, right? No Elvis on the Elvis iPod. So we've got like a gigabyte of other. So it's hooked up as Mike's iPod. As you can see, we've got, what, almost a gigabyte. So in File Explorer, as I had suspected, we've got this backup media, which is filled with, presumably, the Elvis discography. All of these are presumed to have been included with the iPod somehow. It's nice that these files were distributed as their own files instead of preloaded. These were distributed at only 128 kilobits per second. Looks like a regular MPEG-1 single layer. Unfortunate, you would hope for, you know, at least 320 kilobits. April 18th, 2008, which would line up with the Nano 3. Yeah, absolutely would. That's pretty fun. And then we've got some videos here. I can only play the tiniest little clip for you guys, but pretty cool, pretty cool. Yeah, if you want to buy this iPod, Elvis fans, I'll accept offers. Okay, cool, lightning round time. For my husband-to-be, may you have enough iPods. Heartfelt. Hebrews 12, verse 1 through 13. Keep faith, stay strong, run.
For what?
Life is good, play it loud. Noted. The joy you give is the pleasure you get. Wow, that's actually really... I guess I never thought of it like that, man. Breathe in, let go. Nope. Music is the wine that fills the cup of silence. You're trying too hard. Next, we've got our Lexus iPod Nano, first generation here. No clue with the history. We've covered this in a previous video. And then finally, we've got this Nano first generation engraved on the front with SoapNet, which I believe is a television network for soap operas. Really strange to see it on the faceplate, and unfortunately the faceplate is really pretty beat up. I did want to check this Nano one here and just see if there's a unique model number for this engraving, and no, that's going to be a standard model number. We've got this iPod Nano 2nd Gen Silver EMC World. No clue about that. Zero idea.
Oh, it's Dell.
Dell?
The first Dell EMC World convened in Austin, Texas, October 2016.
This one is incredibly beat up. This one came as the housing only. For a Nano 2, it's got damaged connector with what I assume is the location on the logic board. Damaged battery connector. Okay, fair. This one is in terrible shape. It's got a message from E2M and Polytron. Some sort of collaboration between the two?
It's a high-speed filing and packaging system for Fortune 100 companies.
Okay, we are almost done here. We've got an iPod Nano 4 gig silver with the Canadian Natural logo and typeface with the subtitle. Wait, what? 20 million hours lost time injury free. What is that trying to communicate? 20 million hours lost time injury free.
20 million hours worked without an injury or lost time. Like, you know, it's like a manager got that probably.
Okay, we've got a small little stack here. We've got our iPod Nano 7 here, space gray, with Humana Vitality logo on the back. Humana is a health insurance provider here in the States, and Vitality is some sort of special program that you can sign up for, I assume. I don't think it's what you think it is, Cole. Oh, she's got a puffy battery.
She's not very healthy.
Nope. Got an iPod Nano 4, and I don't know, was this just black, gray, space gray, slate black? I'm not sure at the time, but it's got the Mitsubishi Motors logo engraved on the back. A lot of automotive iPods. We have a Subaru one downstairs, Ford, Lexus, Volkswagen, of course. I've seen Honda ones out in the wild. Orange iPod Nano 5, with a little camera on the back. It says, Tripwire, when words fail, music speaks. Thank you from Tripwire. I don't know what that's trying to communicate really. It's implying that they failed to communicate with their customers, so they gave them music. So we've got a green iPod Nano 5 here with Shackman. I assume that's how you pronounce it. Shackman.
Yeah, Shackman. So they trade as Shackman, but they're actually called Shanzi Automobile Group. They're a Chinese commercial vehicle manufacturer.
Another automotive one, and you can see by the text here at the bottom, it's not in English, presumed to be in Mandarin. And finally, we're gonna round this one off with the Bob Wilson Safety Award from 2009. Everyone give it up for Bob Wilson. It's incredible. Bob Wilson continues to win his own award year after year after year. So big shout out. And Bob, if you want this iPod, I'm happy to give it to you. It seems like you've got a knack for safety. So send me an email, austin@eliteobsolete.com. I'll get this iPod to you.
So this is just a tiny editor's note as well. It appears that Apple launched a corporate gifting and rewards program in 2008. It says a new volume order program launched as part of Apple's online store seeks to make it easier for businesses and other organizations to place bulk orders for custom engraved iPods. So if you order 50 or more pods for your company, then you can engrave those with a message or company logo. This could mean that there are potentially 50 Bob Wilson Safety Awards out in the wild this very minute.
All right, but that's gonna round out this episode. We've got one more installment. I'm looking at the little stack of engraved iPod classics just behind the desk, out of frame. Stay tuned, smash that like button. You sons of bitches, leave a comment. And no, I'm not pissed I didn't win the Bob Wilson Safety Award, okay? Why would you even say that, man?
I've won a Bob Wilson Safety Award.
Oh my God, can we
You don't have one?
Dude,
You don't have a Bob Wilson?
Okay,